Good afternoon. Glad you guys are here, and thanks so much for the support. Thanks for being here. This is obviously a big day for the season. This really is the kickoff. You know it's real when you're here at Media Day, and we have Orange Madness tonight. So we're very excited to get started. We've had a really good preseason. It's been one of those things where we really have been trying to just kind of find our way from a physical standpoint. I think that a lot of this season is just going to come down to our toughness. Are we going to be tough enough to make plays? Are we going to be conditioned enough to play long stretches at our pace? Are we going to be able to have a lot of depth at our positions? I think that you can look back over our past couple of years, and I know I can look at 12 now to 15 possessions where if we make plays in those possessions, we have a totally different outlook on where we are ranking-wise, where we are program-wise. I think we've had some moments that we needed to really take advantage of, and we fell a little short of. And I think that when we look back at these situations, I thought we had good enough scheme in place. We definitely had great players in place to make plays, and you have to see what's next. And I think our next step is just being tough. It's just our mental toughness, our physical toughness, our willingness to accept roles, our willingness to really make a tough play when it's time to make a play. And going into the season, that's one thing that we focus on is just our physical conditioning and our mental toughness. And I think going through this preseason and going back even through our European tour, that's all I've really been evaluating with our players is who's going to play tough, who's going to make plays, and who's going to be there when we need them. And we have a very deep basketball team, and talent is not going to be our issue. We've done a very good job of assembling players that can win games, and they can play with anyone at the highest level. It's going to be about our toughness. It's going to be about our will to win. It's going to be about us being able to make plays when we need plays to be made when we win these big games. Obviously, we have a lot of challenges on our schedule. We have a lot of opportunities in our non-league schedule to win some big games. So we schedule them that way on purpose because I knew that we had the talent. I know that we have the scheme, and we have a great staff. We have a great team. We have everything we need to go out and win at these venues on the road. And as we're looking at our team moving forward through this year, I think that at our point guard position, obviously Alexis Peterson had a phenomenal year last year, and it's one thing that I always told our staff, and I've told the media before. She's a pro. She's a great point guard for us, and she had a remarkable year. We're looking forward to her having the same kind of year moving forward. And also in that slot we have Cornelia Fondren, who's played a lot of positions for us, and she's pretty much played the 1 through the 4, and she's going to be huge for us. It's going to be a thing of she being able to step in, play multiple positions, play multiple roles, and also be able to contribute at playing bulk minutes. And that takes a lot. It takes a lot of physical fitness and conditioning. It takes a lot of accepting your role. It takes a lot of just wanting to get out there and do whatever we need to win as a team. We also have in that slot we have Davida Dell, who's a newcomer to us, and she's the highest rated player that we got in our recruiting class this year. She's a phenomenal point guard. She's a playmaker. She can put the ball on the floor. She can get to the rim. She makes open shots. She is a complete guard. She has great size at that position, and we're looking forward to her stepping in and playing some minutes for us also at that spot. And also we can slide Maggie Morrison in there, who had some games last year to where she made some shots for us. I think it was the Virginia game, and she blew that game open, made some shots, and she's had a remarkable offseason, and she's been playing well. And that's going to be a big position for us because we want to really play fast and push the ball. So we're going to have to play players in that position that's going to be able to get us up and down the floor and get us into our system. And also, too, we're going to play Brittany Sykes some at the point guard. She's played point guard all through her high school career. She played point guard with one of the top AAU programs in the country, and she's very effective at that spot. So I think we have 5 players that can step into that point guard slot and be very effective for us and allow us to play fast and to get up and down the floor at a very good rate. And when you look on the wings, obviously with Brianna Butler, who's a tremendous shooter, the the all-time leading shooter in that category of three-point shooting. Just a fantastic player who can do a lot of different things on the floor, and she's gonna have great opportunities, man, to make shots for us from this year, to get them down the floor in transition, and to get some early offense for us. And I think that as you look down our roster, we can go down to Breonna Day, the kind of year she had last year, which was great. She had really a coming out party and rebounding and blocking shots, and she's worked really hard over the summer. She's been working really hard in this preseason offensively, and she's really making great strides. As her sister's doing the same, Bria's doing the same. We have Julia Chandler, who's a newcomer, is coming in to our program, and she's a very versatile post player. She's a post player that can easily shoot 40% behind the arc. She can really shoot the ball. She's a stretch 4, stretch 5 type player, and I think that you have spots where you can put her in at the 5 position. And it's going to be really a matchup problem because she can make shots. She can put the ball on the floor. She's a stretch 5 at any time in the game. She can step out and make shots. And I can go down our whole roster and keep adding players to that mix. But I think that we're very versatile. We're a very deep basketball team. We're going to be able to play different lineups and different players at different positions. But most of all, this season is going to be all about our grit. It's going to be all about our toughness. It's going to be all about our strength and conditioning. And if we can get that together, which we are doing a great job of that, we're going to have a very good year. That's my responsibility. That's our responsibility as a staff to put us in a position to win, and we're going to do that. But more importantly, we got to get ourselves in a position to be able to execute our game plan, and that's just come from physical fitness and being tough.
Coach, what are your realistic expectations of Brittany going into this year coming off the injury?
To be the same player she was when she first came here, because nothing else makes sense. She's a very talented basketball player. She's worked very hard to get herself back on the court, and she looks good, and she's playing well. She's in every rep in practice, and she's back, and hopefully we can continue to progress her through, and she'll get back to where she was.
Do you think it's realistic to expect that from a player coming off the second ACL injury?
Absolutely.
How has she had to kind of reshape her game coming off that?
Well, she's really worked hard on her perimeter shot, and she's definitely a much better shooter. We can reverse the ball to her now, and she doesn't really have to rely on just driving. She can catch the ball and shoot it and make plays for us from beyond the arc. And I think that she's really worked hard at that. And I think you can tell in her practice that she's doing a good job at that.
You talked a lot about toughness. What have you seen from her coming back from this kind of gruesome rehab process the second time?
I think it's just that, toughness, because I've never torn my knee twice, but I can probably imagine it doesn't feel that great. And she has worked really hard to get herself back to being full speed on the floor, and I got to commend her for that. I mean, nobody can do that but her. She has to commit to that, and she committed to that, and she's done a very good job of getting herself back on the floor.
Brianna Butler didn't have the most efficient year shooting last year. What improvements have you seen from her in the preseason?
You said did not or did?
Did not.
Did not. Well, I can tell you this right now. She had a phenomenal year for us. She rebounded the ball great for us. I mean, she was definitely a force inside. She blocked shots. I mean, she ran the floor, and when Brianna got clean catches at the rim, she made shots. And I think that this year, one thing that we've been working on is her getting the ball, being patient, turn around, and making post moves. I can't imagine any coach in our conference is not game planning for her on the defensive end, because she's a problem. She rebounds the ball, she makes shots at the rim, and she can step out and shoot the ball, which she would do a lot more of. This year, her freshman year, is probably more of me holding her back and not letting her do that. But she has a face-up game also, so I'm very excited for her year.
Brianna Butler coming into her senior year, do you think there's anything that she has left to prove?
No, I don't. I mean, she's a phenomenal shooter, and she's going to shoot 300 threes this year. She's going to make over 100 threes this year. That's just what she does. I mean, she catches the ball and she shoots it with the best of them in this country, and she's going to get a lot of opportunities. I think that our depth will allow us to get her off the floor for a few more minutes, which I think will kind of give her some more legs, and it'll probably allow her to make 10, 12 more threes this year.
Last year you get that tournament win. What do you have to do now to go the next step and play to the second weekend?
Toughness. We just got to be tough. We got to make plays. When you're in that spot in the tournament, everybody's a good team. You know, every team in that tournament is good, and it comes down to your will to win, your toughness, and your will to compete. And that's the time of year where we got to get our best 5 players on the floor who gives us the best opportunity to win, whatever combination that is. We got to put that 5 on the floor and get ourselves to the Sweet 16.
I think some of the rule changes that have gone through women's game kind of help or work in your advantage.
I really don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, we haven't played under those rules yet, but the one thing that I can say there's some of the backcourt rules that I think will benefit us because we're a pressing team. So we're looking forward to having some of those rules in place, doing some of our inter-squad scrimmages and see how they work out. But any rule that is made, is our job to adjust to them and find a way to win.
2 more questions, guys.
Brianna Day last year, heading into the offseason, both you and her talked about she could add that mid-range jump shot really help her. Where have you seen her progress with that?
Well, she's been doing a good job with that. She had that last year, and as I said, a lot of that too was just me just keeping her closer to the basket. But we're running some offenses now to where she can step out and either shoot the ball or play off the bounce. And I can tell you right now, if you have Brianna Day 15 feet away from the basket, you throw her the ball, and she faces the basket, and you tell the post player, okay, stop her, and you can't touch her. It's going to be a problem. And that's one thing that we're going to really utilize with Brianna, Bria, and with all of our post players, when Julia, having them face the basket and play a little bit, because supposedly you can't touch a post player when they face the basket. So we're definitely going to be able to play that way and use that rule to our advantage.
2 years ago, Brittany was the leading scorer for this team, go-to person. Last year, Alexis, when Brittany was down, sort of took over that a little bit. What do you see with the 3 of Alexis and Brittany and Brianna going into this year? How do you think that's going to – are you going to plan around the score?
Well, I think all 3 of those players are very unselfish players. They understand what we need to win. And I think that as you look at that, that's probably a good problem to have. We have 3 players that are capable of leading you in scoring on any given night, and I think that's the biggest thing for us. It's our depth, and one of the problems that I'm going to have is probably not a popular thing with our players, but it's a good problem for me. Is finding minutes. We have a deep team and a lot of talent, so we have to be able to manufacture and find minutes for players in different roles and different positions, and the best way you can do that is to figure it out early in the season, figure it out in practice, who's getting it done in practice, who's playing tough, who's physically fit, who's mentally ready to play. It's our job to put them in situations to where we can see them in situations where it's tough, and who's going to cave in and who's going to compete. And I think that when you get down into that 5 will shake itself out at the end of the year, and we have enough talent to where whatever that shakes out to be is going to be a great 5 on the court. And I can tell you, just looking back through our preseason and through our practices, you have a player like Abby is coming in. I mean, and she flat out makes shots. I mean, if you leave her open, she's gonna make a shot. Jade Phillips is the same way. You cannot leave those players open on the floor. So we have even our newcomers that will come in and that will push for minutes, and they can really shoot the ball. So I'm very pleased with our progress. I'm very pleased with where we're at, and our practices have been really, really tough. They've been grueling practices, and we're ready to go. I mean, if anybody in the country is practicing as hard as we're practicing right now, I think we'll have a very good women's basketball season as a whole, because we're getting after it and we're ready to compete this year and ready to make that next step.
All right, guys. Thank you.